I'll give you an opportunity after I start first. I'll bring the mic around, and then I will give you an opportunity to speak briefly, not on and on and on, please, about what's happening. Give us something that happened between last week and this week as a result of you applying and putting this into practice. You found yourself in an impasse. You found yourself in a this and that. You found yourself running from a gunshot. You found that, whatever. you dodged the bullet. But something ought to have happened between last week and this week. It could be in the area you let something go. Something doesn't bother you anymore. Oh, let me tell you what happened to me. I wasn't going to share this with you. But Rita's, we get together once a week. So she knows more about my stuff than y'all do. I'm saying she's all up in my stuff. And she knows. Because when she comes and sit down, I say, well, we have therapy first. She has to listen to me. I have to unload. And she say, you finished yet? Now we get to work. Okay, now we can do what you came here for. But I have to unload. And y'all know about the kidney failure, right? Y'all know about my kidney failure? No. Yes, you're not listening. Rita, would you back me up? Didn't I tell this one? She's shaking her head.
No. She probably did.
I got a whole lot of them. I'm running everywhere. Well, let me tell you about the kidney failure again. Because I did share it with the group at Geiger. And then I came here. Well, what happened was, every day and every way, I am getting better and better, is what I credit to the healing of my kidney failure. Now, put that in quote, unquote. I had gone to the doctor for something, I think every 6 months I have a standing. And I had gone to the doctor for this 6-month thing. And the doctor said, no, I left. And then I got a call later that day or the next day. It was an urgent call from not the doctor. It seemed like a PA or somebody, or nurse or somebody. What happened? There was an alarm in the doctor's voice. Yes. We need you to come in, I think. Yeah. The doctor wants you to come in 2 or 3 days to schedule an appointment to go through a lab test. Because you have kidney failure. I haven't told you that.
No.
You have kidney failure. What have you been doing? And ask a series of questions. In asking the series of questions, I practice what we preach and what we teach here. Is that be careful what you hear. Isn't that what the Bible says? Be careful what you hear, and we talk about it over and over and over. Is that your professionals and your trained people have a job to do. Let them do their job. But don't misunderstand, you do your job. You use what is being told to you as your barometer, as your measure. You hear what you want to hear. But when she was asking me different questions about the situation, she asked me, she said, are you drinking plenty of water? Are you doing this and that? Or are you drinking this? And, she was trying to ask me a question to see if she could decipher what's the source of this sudden change in me when there had been no indications of this since I go to the doctor when I'm supposed to go. That would have shown up, you would think, reasonably rather than suddenly. So she wanted me to come for a few days later to do a test, whatever they want you to do these lab results, tests. And so, like a week from there, 3 or 4 days from there. And I said, okay. But when that time came, I didn't go because I was working on my every day and every plus I was listening to what the questions were about. And it seemed like to me that hydration was an issue. So what I decided, well, before I go back to this doctor's appointment, I'm going to be drinking a lot of water. Because one thing I said to her, she was asking me, how much water do you drink in a day? I told her, which I hadn't been drinking a lot, but I said this one thing to her that gave me an indication of what I needed to do. I said, but at night I drink a lot of water, which is my pattern. She said, sir, that's because you're dehydrated. So I said, that makes sense. That's why I'm so thirsty at night. She said, that's why you're thirsty at night. I started this when I went and bought this. I bought this, and it stays with me all day long now. It's filled with ice and water, and I'm drinking water constantly. So instead of going to the doctor the following week, I waited until the week after that to give myself plenty of time to work on myself so that I would go back in there in a what? Different body. Absent from the body and present with the Lord is our topic today. Absent from the body and present with the Lord. This is a great example and a demonstration that when you leave that old body and you step into a new body, you don't bring the old stuff into the new stuff. So I was determined that I'm not going back to that appointment in this body. When I go back, I'm going to be in a different body. And when you measure this, you measure the stuff from the old body. You're taking the lab reports and did it from the new body, absent from the old body and present with the new. And when I went back, they did the test and everything, and then took the blood labs and 2 or 3 days later called, sir, I just wanted to tell you that there's not a concern, everything is normal. So how do you go from kidney failure to everything is normal? Just from a simple change like that. I could have been standing here today with kidney failure if I hadn't followed my inner spirit to do this and not go until I go into the new body. And then, a little while after that, I don't know why I went to the doctor. I don't know if I wasn't feeling well, maybe you know all that stuff. And I ended up going, I don't know why, but my blood pressure was taken. Oh, I think when I went back for that, because they do your blood pressure workup before you go in, and said, oh, I went in with a new problem. Blood pressure was 164. But I had reason for it to be 164 at that time. She knows about it. I mean, it should have been 190 over something. But my standard is 136 over something. And that's been for years, and they consider that normal for me. But this particular day was 164 over something. And the doctor wanted to put me on blood pressure medicine. Ms. Tompkins said, well, we're going to start you on blood pressure medicine. And I looked at her and said, all right now, I'll come back. And if it's still that, then I will consider it, because I don't want to start doing it, And so I was to come back in another week. And when I went back, I decided not to go in that week. I gave myself more time. And in giving myself more time, the problem that was in my life was still there. But I worked on myself like I've done with myself before. Every day, in every way, I am getting better and better. And God granted me the serenity to accept the things I cannot, that I've done, the courage to change things, and the wisdom to know different. Use that one too. So in about 2 weeks later, I went back to the doctor, not to see the doctor. They wanted me to see the nurse to do a blood pressure check. And when I gave him my arm, the guy said, oh, you just one number under to where we wouldn't have to give you blood pressure medicine. So it was back to normal. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm giving you examples. You ought to be coming in here with the same stories. You ought to be coming in here with life examples, because you're getting better and better. Am I right? Yeah. They come in here, talk about writing your letter, get the testimony writing. If you can't tell it, tell it. That's your testimony. There's some changes going on in relationships. There's changes going on in your body. There's changes going on in your finances. There's changes going on in your conscience. There's changes going on in your general feeling. Give praise. Yes. Then what happened was, with this blood pressure thing, they've suggested and recommended that I get a blood pressure reader. What do you call it? Monitor. I never had one, so I didn't know how to use it. So when I got the thing home, I put it on the wrong way. I wasn't. So when I checked my blood pressure, it said 190. I said, "Oh, Jesus, I'm gonna die." So I got in the car and went to the emergency room. I said, "I'm dying." I thought I was going to have a heart attack or an aneurysm or something. And it turned out they told me I was using the thing the wrong way. But when I did use it, they told me to keep a record. But every time I was keeping a record then, it was going back up. Every day. 160, 100 this and 100 that. Well, that told me something. That you can regulate this. Something is changing. So I'm not going to accept this as a permanent sickness. And you want me to give you the blood pressure medicine? I'm saying, not yet. And then what happened is that the situation I knew had to work out within a certain amount of time unless I go nuclear and throw the nuclear bomb on it. I didn't want to do that because I've done that before. I don't need to do that anymore because I'm a new person. I've left that old body behind. I'm in a new spiritual body where I can remain cool and chill and be in understanding. I don't have to do that anymore. That old person is dead. I got a new instrument every day, and every way I am getting better and better. And you can be in the problem, but not of it.
That's right.
And you can be in the sickness and not of it. You can be in the financial situation, but you don't need to. You can be in it, but not of it. Jesus said, I am in the world, but not of it. You can deal with the problem. You can have the problem, but don't let the problem have you. And so what I did, I put the blood pressure monitor on a shelf. And I said, I'm not going to deal with this until I handle this.
That's right.
And I'm not going to look at it again until this situation changes.
Yeah.
But I had to wait for timing, not God's time. But I'm being realistic in this relationship. I got to give you time, so I'm going to do this for you. Sacrifice. So you sacrifice. You're demonstrating patience. You're demonstrating tolerance. You're demonstrating understanding. And there's nothing worse but learning. The bottom line is love. It's love in action. Regardless of the friction, regardless of the appearance, it's love in action. It ain't nothing till you name it. Let's go to the ball game. Mm-hmm. 3 people on base. Am I right?
Yes.
Somebody breaks off and steals in the way home, hit that home plate. And what happens is that the catcher got there at the same time that the runner, same time, it seems. Then there's a hush. 20,000 people there, and there's not a sound. Why? Because they're waiting. For what? They're waiting for the the umpire to call it, to name it. And he's just standing there taking smoke. It ain't nothing till I name it. It's nothing till I name it. It's nothing till I call it.
That's right.
So you call it high blood pressure. You call it kidney failure. You call it cancer. You call it this. You call it that. You name it what you want. So what happened is that when that situation changed, when that date came where this is supposed to happen and that happened, then I went. But let me tell you when I went. Here's another. I'm giving you 3 miracles. I'm giving you 3 testimonies. I'm giving you 3 of how I use it and how I'm practicing it. This is the 3rd one. And this is y'all's fault on this chili stuff. Last Tuesday, I'm sitting in there and I'm eating. But I was eating with you, so you know I wasn't rushing, right? We were just casually talking. All of a sudden, I chucked down on the inside of my lip. I bit my lip. That was inside, in that sensitive area down there. Oh. Well, it wasn't that. He said, yeah, that's true. This is what happened. This is Tuesday, and today is Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Well, between last Tuesday and this Tuesday, I have suffered. Here's what happened. Around Wednesday or Thursday, the thing was still there. It was bothering me, and I did something dumb. You know, I gargled it with salt and water, thinking it was going to accelerate the thing. And it didn't burn, but what happened is that I think it affected it in a negative way. So Sunday, I have to speak at guidance. When I go to bed at Saturday night, I am in excruciating pain. If this lip touched anything, I couldn't eat. I'm making smoothies. So what do? I sit in my recliner and I work this thing called every day. Every day but I got violent up in there. You know, I've been aggressive. I'll do some prayer. So what happened was, Spirit said, go outside. You listen to the voice. I have some aloe vera plants.
Yes.
I clipped that aloe vera, skinned it back, made myself a little swallowing there, and got up in there and swallowed, so I fell asleep, didn't feel nothing. No. The pain was totally gone, the discomfort, the irritation. So the next morning, I said, then I can go, because I'm thinking that if this continues, there's no way in the world I can stand there and talk. So it was soothed. And I did, and you ought to hear the message. We have the Sunday tape back there from guidance. It was something awesome. The topic was absent from the body and present from the Lord, continue, but defining answer for it. So that was it. So that was yesterday, Sunday. So Monday, the sensation that was Saturday night was still there. I couldn't eat. It was awful. So Monday morning, I did a call to go to urgent care because I have Kaiser. And I went into Kaiser, and the doctor, my regular doctor, wasn't there, so another doctor saw me. And so I told the story of what had happened. And so she looked at it. She said, "Oh, your bite made it a canker sore."
Yes.
Says anybody? I never had one before, so I didn't recognize it. Is there anybody else that had one here? Oh, you talking about some pain?
Yes.
Ooh, it's sensitive, super sensitive. And so they gave me a tube of medicine that I'm supposed to apply in after a couple of days. So it's still here today, but I have the application of it. So the point is that, here's the point, the high blood pressure. So they have to take your blood pressure when you go in, no matter what you're going in for. And so my blood pressure was 136, my normal blood pressure. Yeah, even with that. But that says that from the first time it was diagnosed, I could have been put on blood pressure medicine. But what happened, I waited, and I dealt with it like we got a part in here that says, lay aside every weight. Hebrews. Lay aside every weight. Most of us don't want to do that. You're missing all of that, and you're jumping all over here to the healing. But the process in it is not for God. But there are some things that you should do or should not do. Things that you should give up, or things that you should, whatever. You see? And when I took care of the situation by that date, after that date, then the blood pressure was normalized. Do you see?
Yes.
So I gave you 3. We won't have time for yours. So when you're passed out, the topic is behold. Oh yeah. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. Have you heard that scripture before?
Yes.
Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hears my voice and open the door, I will come into him and will sup with him and he with me. Things live, this is from the book by Neville that's in your, some of you have the compilation where there's 9 books in one book. One of the books of that 9 that is in the book called Essential Collection is entitled At Your Command. And from the book At Your Command, there is a subject or a chapter in there that's entitled Things Live Only as Long as I am aware of being them. Things live. You have a passage. Things live only as long as I am aware of being them. So let's think about something that you're dealing with that's happy and joyous and peaceful and going all right in your life. Well, those things are only existing because you're aware of being them. Let's think about something that's not to your liking, that's bringing you upset or discomfort in your life. It only exists because you are aware of being it. Okay? So, 2 shall agree as touching anything. That's what we're talking about. Somewhere in your life, the 2 have touched and agreed. The conscious and the unconscious has agreed. That's the 2 touching. This agreement is never made between 2 persons. It is between the awareness and the thing you desire. But you say, how can you say I desire this? Well, that's what your attention was on. Somehow your attention was on it. Now, you can go through a lot of questions of how, or you can just jump all over that and just accept that it had a genesis somewhere. It just didn't come out of nowhere. So let's not ask questions and let's get busy. Come on up. So, Sonia, you guys come on up. I feel more connected with you. Okay. So how do you feel about what I just said? So you are ever sent into expression by your awareness, and your expression is what? Always what?
That is you are conscious of being.
So no matter what we're experiencing in life, whether it's on the positive or the negative, the good or the bad, the wanted or unwanted, that expression is your consciousness expressing or picturing itself. It's something where there has been an agreement between the unconscious and the subconscious. Let's not worry about where, why, how, and all of that. Let's leave those questions alone and work on it. The scripture says, be ye what? Doers of the word and not hearers only. Now it says, here's something to always bear in mind. Let's read that together. You cannot put new wine in old bottles. You've heard that over and time again. One of the problems that's blocking healing, blocking manifestation, blocking demonstration, is that something has happened in your life. Something has happened in your world. Something has happened in your consciousness. Something has happened in your mind. Something has happened in your spirit. That's, and what you come to a place like here for is a diagnostic run on your mind. And so when you have a problem in the impasse or sickness or whatever, that's equal to the engine light icon that goes on your dashboard, engine light. So what you have to do is look at whatever's going on in your life that's a problem, you've been shooting prayers up and nothing's coming down. That's the engine light. Check engine light. But the difference in your vehicle and this is this. It's showing you that there is trouble, There's a problem to be fixed. There's a sense of urgency. Now, you can ignore it if you want to. But if you go take care of it now, it might be minor. But if you don't check it out, it could turn into something more grave. Am I right?
Yes.
So you have to look at your life as that anything that is an impasse, causing you trouble, whatever, is check engine light. But the difference in being something negative, it is always something good. Something positive. Something good is happening. You say, but it hurts. You say, but I'm sad. You say, but I'm mad and I'm angry. You know, I said the difference between the natural and the spiritual is that when that check engine light comes on, that you might need surgery, or it's an incurable, or it's this and that. No, it's good. Here it is right here. Now here is something to always bear in mind. You cannot put new wine in old bottles. That check engine light is symbolic of new wine. Something has happened in your life. There's been a transition. There's been a transformation. Something is happening. But you say it's registering as sick. Yes, something is happening. But you can't take that into old bottles. There's something that's coming into your life because there's time for a change, and you've already accepted that challenge. You've already accepted that whatever. Do you see me?
Yes.
If you hadn't already accepted it, wouldn't be there. There has been an agreement somewhere between conscious and unconscious, between head and heart, between sense and soul. You've already said yes to something. And because you've already said yes to something, it's knocking at your door. Oh, I stand at the door and knock. And if you start off right, you end up right. If you start off fighting, you go through fighting. But if you embrace it when it comes, and knowing that it's coming to work with you and you work with it, then you end up with a different result.
Yeah.
And a different process to that end. I just shared with you 3 demonstrations in my own life. Didn't I?
Yes.
But did you see how I embraced it? And I didn't call it what they wanted to call it. I called it what I want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
Then I dealt with it the way I wanted to deal with it. And then I'll go back to you when I'm changed, when I'm ready. I'm not going back to you with the same old body, the same old problem. I'm going to step over it.
Yeah.
You must be born again. Isn't that what I just said? And you must be born again. Don't go back for no confirmation until you're born again. Am I right?
Yeah.
And what do we say about when we have a doctor's appointment is for what? How come only 3 people say it? You're going for one single thing, and that's for confirmation. I need your professional opinion. I just want to see how my work is working.
Yeah.
I want you to tell me, I just want to see how this stuff is working. Not going with doubt and fear and worry and unbelief. They're going to see what you're thinking. They're going to see what you're registering. They're going to see what you're agreeing to. They're mind readers. Okay, now here's something to always bear in mind. You cannot put new wine in old bottles. That is, you cannot take with you into the new consciousness any part of the old man. What is the new consciousness? Well, you said that it's already done, didn't you?
Yeah.
You said, I am healed now, didn't you? You said, I got it right now. You said that everything is forgiven between now and that person and vice versa. You said, I am at peace right now. You said there is nothing to fear. Didn't you say that? And didn't you say that it's already done?
Yeah.
Well, I wonder if you believe what you just said.
That's right.
I wonder if your actions from here on is going to be in agreement with what you just said. I wonder if you're still waiting for it to be done when you said it was already done. It says right here. Look here, look at this. You can't put new wine in old bottles, right?
Right.
Which means you cannot take with you into, where does new consciousness? Well, there's the new consciousness. It's already done. I am healed. Now, what you can't take into this is questions and because you're already the new man. You're not becoming the new man. You are the new man now, and the old man is that which was. You're into your desire fulfilled now. Act like it, walk like it, talk like it, smell like it, feel like it, become it. All your words coming out of your mouth. And all of the thoughts in your silent mind is only that. You cannot take with you into the new consciousness any part of the old man. Cannot. 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 What does cannot mean? Cannot. It can't. It can't go into that. It cannot. That's a good thing. Isn't it good to know that?
Yes.
All of your present beliefs, fears, and limitations are weights. They are weights that bind you to your present level of consciousness. You can't go into the new man, into the new spiritual, into that new body consciousness with these weights. What did I say before I went to didn't I say, the doctor said, come back and let us take your blood pressure. Well, something was causing it. Weights. And the reason I didn't go back when they told me to come back is because I knew I couldn't take this into the new man. Whatever was causing it, I can't take that. So I'm not going to come to you when you told me to come next week. I'm going to wait till when I'm ready to come. And when I got ready to go 2 weeks later, instead of rush back in 3 because you like you back, stroke out here. Because that's what they told me. Come back in 3 days. 3 days come, I said, no, we need some water. That's what it And then I went home and I just had a conversation of understanding. I ain't dying to eat. But this is what I will do. This is what I'll tolerate. This is what I want. This is the way we're going to do this. I'm cool. And then 2 weeks later, I went back and everything was, but I didn't take the old wine into this new body. Is that clear?
Yes.
That was new wine. That was my new wine, my new understanding, my new level of forgiveness, my new level of tolerance, my new level of patience, my new level of understanding. Giving up forward. Two things can't occupy the same place at the same time. Then when I went back, everything was normal. Right? All of your present beliefs, fears, and limitations are weights that bind you to your present level of consciousness in the old man. If you would transcend this level, you must what? A few of, some of, a couple of. You must leave behind some of that stuff that is your present conception of yourself. Nah, this says all. This says all. Okay, that is now your present conception of yourself. To do this, you take your attention away from all that is now your problem or limitation and dwell on just being. You cannot dwell on just being if your attention is on your problem or limitation. Two things can occupy the same place at the same time. Same space at the same time. To be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. The body being the former concept of yourself, and the Lord, your new awareness of being. This is what Jesus meant when he told Nicodemus, you must be born again. For except you be born again, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. That is, except you leave behind your present conception of yourself and assume the nature of the new birth, you will continue to outpicture your present limitations. And then you pray. What you praying for? You need to shut up. Because it's not doing anything. What you want God is to perform a miracle. It would be a miracle for you to be healed with all of this stuff going on. It would take a miracle to reverse natural and spiritual law. That's what you want to do. You want a miracle, reverse this. I don't have to do that. I can still hate and be healed. I can still be mad about that loan you didn't pay me back. I can still be mad about you cheating me out of this and that. I lost my inheritance. I still could be mad about being fired. I still could be mad about losing some great investment. I still could be mad about, I can still be upset about, and not heal me. It would take a miracle. It would take a miracle. And you say, it's what I want is a miracle. The only way to change your expressions of life is to change your consciousness. Now behold, our topic today is behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hears my voice and open the door, I will come in and sup with him and he'll with me. What is the eye? I don't want you to answer. What is the knocking at the door? And what is it? The eye is what we started off saying. How did I begin this by saying? Anything going on in your life that something you're not achieving, your goal, there's an impasse, there's a problem, financial problem, there's a problem in the body, there's a problem in your emotional, problem in a relationship, a problem and a problem and a problem and a problem, that's the eye. Knocking at the door. It's in your imagination. I is the imagination. I. And at the end of that sentence, it's telling you what the I is. The I knocking at the door, read it with me. What?
This is the urge.
Okay, is the urge. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. That's divine urge. That is what you, through misunderstanding, call a problem. A problem. You call it a problem. You call it sickness. You call it incurable. You call it impossible. You call it insurmountable. You call it, don't never speak to me no more. I hate you. Yeah. Come on, give me some more. You call it, I don't see how this is going to work. You call it, oh wow, is this happening to me? You call it all of that stuff, and you're calling it by the wrong name. You have the power to do nothing till you name it. You are the umpire at the door of your life. You call it. I don't call it that stuff. It tells you here what it is. Behold, I stand. That's what it is. It's a divine, and now that has been, wait a minute, the testimony that your prayer has already been answered. Here is the already done understanding. The evidence, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things what? Not seen. See, the not seen thing is this. You don't realize that the prayer is already answered. The evidence that the prayer is already answered is that it's standing at the door knocking. And it's showing up as a so-called problem, sickness and need in the blink. That you're praying for, you wouldn't be praying for it if God has not already announced in your mind that it's already done. That's why it's here. God is telling you what the work is finished. I'm just coming to express myself as it through this that you've identified as a problem or as a need. That's spiritual talk. Behold, I stand at the door as this situation and knock. Now, if any man hears me and opens the door, open the door means what? I will come in and sup with him. Read on your passage. The door is your consciousness. To open the door is to become one with that which is knocking. What's knocking? The anger, the upset. What's knocking? The impossibility. What's knocking? What the doctor just said. What's knocking? What the bank statement is saying. But here is the twist. The twist is you still missing what I'm saying. What's knocking appears to be that. That's the appearance. But there's something behind that appearance is what is indeed knocking, and that is the divine urge. The appearance is what you want and what you need and what you're asking for in prayer. But what is metaphysics all about? It's behind the symbol. The cause behind it is behind the symbol. That thing symbolizes something. That sickness symbolizes something. There's something underlying it. That's knocking. And guess what you're trying to heal is the thing that is the illusion and that is the appearance that's making the noise. Hey! Jesus! Oh, yes! There's something behind it. Yes. That's knocking. And when you experience it in your expression of life, it's in the problem area because you're in the natural world. There's a natural body and there's a spiritual body. And you're trying to work on it in the natural body, in the natural realm. And it'll take you 59 years and 69 years. And then show you natural.
You are wise.
Show the natural, didn't he? Yes, he looked natural because that's the way he died, in the natural. Come on. You can't heal stuff in the natural world. The door is your consciousness. To open the door is to become one with that which is knocking. By feeling oneself to be the thing desired. The thing desired is behind the symptom, is behind the effect. Behind sickness is health. Behind impoverishment is wealth. Behind fear is love. Behind, give me some more, that's what's knocking. Behind the problem. Because the problem, say it to me, with me, the problem produces its own solution. Come on. The problem produces its own solution. Come on. The problem produces its own solution. The solution is in the spiritual domain. Then read on. For I, or the newly attained consciousness. What is the I? Behold, I stand at the door. What is the I? The I is the newly attained consciousness. Does that word says attaining or attained? Attained is past tense. You have already attained the consciousness, and the evidence is that the problem is showing up. Oh no. Next come to me. I'm ready to have it. God He permitted Satan to attack Job. Is that the way the story goes?
Yeah.
Which means that God does not permit anything to come into your life until it has prepared you for it and to deal with it. He's fast. No. God said, whatever had hate, the devil, the story, the allegory, it's the devil walked the earth going to and fro, trying to find somebody. All right? And God said, hey, you heard about Job? I got a boy for you. Did you? Have you heard about him? Go over there. Job can handle you.
Yes, yes.
There's nothing that you can put on Job that'll make Job turn against me, because the Satan wanted to get the man to turn against God. He said, hey. Check out Job. So whatever problem you're dealing with in your life, hey, he can help. Am I right? So my belief and my faith says that if it came to me, it came to pass.
Yes.
Not to study.
Not to stay.
I'm going to give you the pass. And how many other people just sit down there?
Yeah. Didn't come to stay.
Didn't come to stay here. You came here to pass. For I, or the newly attained consciousness, has ways that you know not of. Its ways are past finding out. What is the it? The divine urge. The thing that's showing up in your life. The problem. Now the problem produces its own solution. Within the problem is a way. It has a design. A divine design. It's programmed to come into your life and move through your life, but in moving through your life is doing something in your life.
Yes.
Making you grow to the manifestation level of the manifestation.
Yes.
Without it, without problems, where would medicine be? Without problems, where would science be? Without problems, where? Without. But it's through challenges that things are created and invented. There was a need. Come on. Do not speculate as to the how of this consciousness embodying itself. For no man is wise enough to know the how. Well, preachers in the house. We're going to go back and look at that again, and let me show you what you missed. Read it again. Do not speculate as to the how of this consciousness. What consciousness? What consciousness? The problem, the situation, the prayer need, whatever you're working on. This consciousness, now the next part, embodying itself. There's an intelligence within it that knows how to embody itself and picture itself in the new spiritual body of your life, which is the answer prayer. It embodies itself. It knows where to find the doctor and the medicine and the this and the that and the financier or the money or the plan or the new person or the club or the this or the that. Might send you to the club. You can get to the club in a long time. I haven't been to a club in 20 years. But I might be motivated to go tomorrow night. I'm wondering, well, what's this about? Go. It says my ways are beyond finding out.
Yes.
Do you know? You've never taken that neighbor some of your favorite recipe. In fact, you haven't spoken before. But all of a sudden, you're waiting for it to come out the house, so you reach across the floor. Hey! They're looking at you straight. Why are you doing it? He says, my ways are but I got ways that you know not of. My way, you got a sign on your door that says no solicitors. But some crazy fool will have them ring that door there. Instead, you open the door, can't you read? Right. No. Wasn't there a different tone to that ring? When you open the door, maybe you should shut up and listen this time. Because the sign clearly said no solicitors. But he came anyway. He says, I have ways that you know not of. You can extrapolate that and going on and on and on. You see, you have to realize that you're either online or not. You're either on or you're not. I have a new system up here where there's no off and on. I'm online all the time on the www. that's called the World Wide Web. I'm on the internet. And you know why? Because there are, this day and age, millions, if not millions, of people who are on at the same time. Do you know what that simply means? Well, if you got ways that I know not of, I don't know which way it might come. So there are as many ways for me to receive my answer and my good as there are people who are on. Because they're all part of one thing that the Bible teaches in the book of Acts. It's called the church.
Yes.
And the church is not a building made of brick and mortar. The church is an idea in consciousness.
Yes.
And when the church was born, it says that many were added to it. And from that point to this point, many more have been added to it. They're all online. www. And they all trying to find me. And my ears, my consciousness, everything is open. So my stuff just somehow finds its way through me. Because that's my belief and that's my faith. Am I right? I have ways that, are you open to his ways? His ways come in harmony, in upsets. His ways come in sickness. His ways come through all of these avenues. But the answer comes. And when the answer comes, it brings new relationships and new interventions and new this and new that would not have otherwise happened except for. Come on. Speculation is proof that you have not attained to the naturalness of being the thing desired. And so you'll feel the doubts. If you have not the consciousness of the thing, you have not the cause or foundation of what you think is erected. So rise in consciousness to that nature of the thing desired. And you will, B-E-C-O-M-E. That's put there for a reason like that. Spelled out. Okay? Rise in consciousness to the nature of the thing desired. And something is going to start happening in your life. You're becoming. And you will become that thing in expression. You'll become it. Therefore, what things soever you desire, when you pray, believe that you receive them, and you shall have them. So we're going to drop the mic right there. So what we want to do now is give you an opportunity to ask some questions or share your demonstrations. What did you get out of today? How did it help you? Is it, as we say, are you more confused now than you were when you came? Do you have hope? Do you have faith? Or whatever. But make it brief. Okay? Anybody? Yes.
I have several ways that I could go with this, but I'm going to go with the one that's pushing me right now. Is that I grew up feeling unloved. All of my childhood experiences just kept telling me I was unloved. And I thought I had an ungrateful child that really confirmed that I was unloved and unlovable. But one day it came to me when I looked at all the ways that I had gotten over, all the ways that God had provided for me.
Wait. Let's everybody pay attention, please. Because we heard you talking. Go ahead.
What I came to realize is that I came into this lifetime to know that God loves me. And when I came to that realization that I'm really loved by God, I saw all of those other life experiences as opportunities to move to the source of love in my life. And it has just opened me up in a different way where I cannot hold things. I don't hold things against my daughter or others because I realized all of that was pushing me to understand where my real love is coming from.
And I remember you're sharing your emotions in the opposite way when you first started. When we first started this, where you remember your sentiments were quite different, and you were working with that to be healed. And you're sharing a demonstration and you made that breakthrough. That's the old body. That's being absent from the body and being present to the Lord. That's a great example of that. But what will happen is that because you have memory, stuff will surface. And what happens when you think that that's not registered in her consciousness, in her mind, when I say that's not your business.
That's right.
That's just not your, leave that totally alone, you know, because he says, my ways are beyond finding out. You know, leave other people, that's what the serenity prayer is for. You know, God grant me the serenity and change, is that your first one? And then the courage to change the things I can. That right there says that's not your business. And the wisdom to know the difference. And that's what works for me. You know, I'm from a large family. My mother's from a group of 9 brothers and sisters. And they produced, you know, some of this many, that many. So I have a lot of cousins, first cousins. And then with my age now, I have a lot of second cousins, a lot of nieces and nephews. And a lot of them, the nieces, nephews call me Uncle Grandpa. You know, because you're children, right. You know. But we're bonded, we have relationships, we have family meetings and whatever, so there's stuff. But they relate to me differently than anybody else in the family. You know, I'm just the favorite of everybody.
First of all, I want to say that I just want to thank you for making me realize that the solution is always in the problem.
Yeah.
But this is not what I wanted to say. I share what I learned here with my family. My brother's grandson fell the 4th of July. And they thought he fell because he was playing and bumped his head. But he fell because he was already sick. He had a temperature at 3 years old at 102. He had an infection in his body, so he went into seizures. So my brother was able to tell his wife that it wasn't the fall. Let's be glad he did fall.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we could take him, rush him to the hospital and find out what the problem really is. And that is because I've been sharing what I've been learning here.
Mine's a little different, but it is a demonstration for me. 4th of July just happens to be my favorite holiday. And lately, I really don't have a lot of finances. But last year I kept saying, wow, I really want to have a more fantastic 4th of July. And that would be by having more of the things that, just having those things that went up in the air. But I realized I didn't do anything to get it other than see myself enjoy my 4th of July. And I got up at 6, went to a cousin's house, helped to get everything ready to have the family come over. And while I was gone from the house, someone delivered a truckload, a dining room, living room table full when I got home. And I have to say this word, but it was illegal fireworks. And I had 4.5 hours of fun. And I hadn't put a penny in it other than imagining seeing us having this wonderful time with the family and everybody enjoying themselves. And the person that supplied it is the person that normally causes us as a family a hardship. You know, it's like, God, he's here today. But he was out of town in Vietnam, but he sent us our fun. And the odd thing is now everybody wants to just hug him and tell him thank you. So that itch one way has now become this loving feeling.
Yeah.
That,
I don't say very much in class, but I'm always present with the teaching, and I'm really appreciating this teaching. The thing that it has done so wonderfully for me is that I live alone. And when you live with someone, you're talking about the things that are happening and putting them out there. But when you live alone, the things are happening and you are thinking about them. So they're building up in the mind. And what your teaching has done, and listening to the CDs and all, is that you know, when you go off to bed, that's when the mind starts. A place for my mind, a profitable place for my mind. And I'm reaping the benefits physically and financially from it. That my mind is in the place where it's beneficial at the time that it needs to be there. You know, in other words, I go to bed with this. You know, instead of going to bed with the problems. And this is, to me, been one of the most wonderful things about the teaching. There's been a lot of good stuff, you know, this is good stuff. But this has been the most wonderful thing about the teaching. Is that when I go down, I have a place for my mind. It's beneficial.
Well, first of all, before Henry speaks, I want to, we haven't seen him in a week or two. So we're glad that you're here. And the consciousness is different when you're not here, so we're glad you're here.
Well, I'm here because you made a way for me to get here. What I realize about this teaching is what God said. Without faith, it's impossible to please God. So therefore, I applied that to this teaching. And I have grown so much by his teaching. But the main thing about his teaching, it doesn't work for you unless you believe it. And that's the key. By believing it and applying it, we receive the result, the benefit of the teaching.
When you spoke about your blood pressure, it brought to mind what happened to me Sunday. I woke up and my pressure was high, and I said, I know it's from the heat, the humidity, whatever, but I have to go to guidance to hear Reverend Amon. I called Irene Craven. I said, oh Lord, my pressure's up. She said, well, we're going to pray on it, but go get that apple cider vinegar that I've been telling you about. And so I drank my apple cider vinegar. I took a half of the blood pressure pill and I chanted every day in every way, I am getting better and better, for about 10 minutes, and you know I was there Sunday.